In the heart of a merciless Minnesota blizzard, the Johnson family found themselves enveloped by nature's relentless fury. Stranded without communication, it was their 5-year-old daughter, Lily, who saw the ethereal presence of the Virgin Mary, igniting a beacon of faith that would guide them through the storm. What unfolded was nothing short of miraculous. Before we continue, tell us in the comments. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now where you are? It's always powerful to see how stories of faith and miracles reach hearts across the world, even in life's fiercest storms. If stories of divine protection and the Virgin Mary's presence move you, subscribe so you don't miss what unfolds next. Mark Johnson, a seasoned truck driver familiar with the harsh embrace of Midwest winters, embarked on what was supposed to be a routine journey with his family. Their destination was Sarah's sister's house, a place of warmth and familial joy. Despite the forecast of mild snowfall, Mark's confidence was unshaken. His wife, Sarah, carried her rosary, a silent testament to her steadfast faith and a reminder of the divine presence that accompanied them. In the back seat, their children, Jake and Lily, radiated the innocence and love that only family can provide. As they set forth, snowflakes danced around them, gradually amassing into a blizzard that swallowed the landscape. With visibility reduced to a mere whisper and road conditions deteriorating, Mark made a fateful decision to take a lesser-known route, hoping to circumvent the storm's fury. Yet, nature had woven a different narrative, and soon the Johnsons found themselves ensnared in a snowbank, isolated from the world as their fuel dwindled. The Johnson family, Mark, Sarah, Jake, and their young daughter Lily embarked on their annual journey to visit Sarah's sister, a tradition steeped in love and anticipation. Mark, with his years of maneuvering through winter's challenges, was unfazed by predictions of light snow. The family, cocooned in their vehicle, shared a sacred bond, fortified by Sarah's quiet prayers and the rosary that gently swung from the rearview mirror, a symbol of divine protection. As they traveled, the snow began its transformation from a gentle fall to a fierce tempest. The chapter paints a vivid portrait of familial unity, underscored by faith and the subtle presence of the divine. The worsening weather served as a prelude to the trials ahead. Yet within the Johnsons' car, hope and love remained steadfast. As the blizzard's fury intensified, Mark's thoughts wandered to winter's past, tales of treacherous roads and miraculous escapes. Yet no memory could have prepared him for the present reality. A palpable tension filled the car, only to be pierced by Sarah's fervent prayers, each word a plea for divine intervention. In the heart of their uncertainty, Lily's innocent voice broke through, pointing to a vision that would forever alter their journey, a celestial sign that reassured them of the Virgin Mary's presence, ready to guide them through the storm's wrath. As Lily's innocent voice faded into the charged silence of the car, Mark tightened his grip on the steering wheel, his eyes scanning the swirling white chaos beyond the windshield. The celestial sign Lily spoke of lingered in their minds like a soft, glowing beacon, but the harsh reality of the storm could not be ignored. The blizzard was unrelenting, each gust of wind threatening to push them off course. He knew they needed to make a decision soon. "Mark," Sarah whispered, her voice filled with both fear and faith, "perhaps we should try the old road. It might be less treacherous." Mark hesitated. The old road was a shortcut he had taken only a handful of times, a narrow path less traveled, winding through dense woods and forgotten by most since the new highway was built. But with the main road nearly impassable, it seemed their only option. "All right," Mark agreed, a hint of uncertainty in his voice. "We'll take the shortcut." Keep praying, Sarah. The car veered off the main road, tires crunching over the fresh snow. The world outside was a blur of white and shadow, the trees bending under the weight of the storm. Inside the car, the warm glow of the dashboard lights cast a comforting halo around the family, a small refuge against the encroaching darkness. As they traveled deeper into the heart of the blizzard, the snow fell in thick sheets, and the road seemed to disappear beneath them. Mark's jaw was set in concentration, his knuckles white against the wheel. Each moment felt suspended in time, the air heavy with the weight of unspoken fears. "Mommy, are we going to be okay?" Lily's voice was small, her eyes wide and trusting. Sarah turned in her seat, reaching back to gently squeeze Lily's hand. "Yes, sweetheart, we're going to be just fine. Remember what you saw. We are not alone." Her words hung in the air, a tender reassurance that seemed to echo back from the very heart of the storm. Mark felt a renewed strength in Sarah's faith, a reminder that no matter how fierce the storm, they were anchored by something greater. But then, with a sudden jolt, the car lurched to a halt. The tires spun helplessly, and Mark's heart sank as he realized they were stuck. A snowbank had swallowed the front wheels, and the car was now an immobile island in a sea of white. "Dad!" David's voice, usually so steady, wavered slightly. "What do we do now?" Mark's mind raced. They had limited fuel, no cell service, and the storm showed no signs of abating. The situation was dire, but he couldn't let despair take root. He glanced at Sarah, who met his gaze with calm resolve. "We'll get through this," Mark said, trying to instill confidence in his words. "Sarah, keep praying. David, help me with the shovels. We need to try and dig ourselves out." Mark and David stepped out into the storm, the cold biting through their layers as they worked together to clear the snow. Each shovelful felt like a battle, the wind howling as if to mock their efforts. Inside the car, Sarah continued to pray, her voice a steady rhythm against the chaos outside. "Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee." The familiar words were a balm, soothing the frayed edges of her nerves. As Mark and David labored, the storm seemed to close in around them, a relentless force that tested their resolve. Yet, amidst the desperation, there was a quiet determination in their movements, a reflection of the faith that bound them. After what felt like an eternity, they returned to the car, breathless and shivering. The snow had proven too much, and their efforts seemed futile. Mark turned to his family, the weight of the situation pressing heavily on his shoulders. "We need to conserve fuel and stay warm," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "We'll have to wait for the storm to pass and hope for help." In the ensuing silence, Sarah's prayers continued, her words weaving a tapestry of hope and trust. The children huddled together in the back seat, drawing warmth from each other and the promise of their mother's faith. "Remember, the Virgin Mary watches over us," Sarah whispered, her words a gentle reminder of the vision that had sparked their hope. As the hours passed, the storm raged on, an unyielding presence that tested their patience and faith. The cold seeped into the car, and Mark periodically started the engine to keep the heater running, mindful of their dwindling fuel supply. In those long, uncertain moments, they found solace in each other's presence, their unity a steadfast anchor against the storm's fury. Mark's thoughts drifted to the strength of faith, the quiet resilience that had carried generations before them through trials and tribulations. "Faith is not the absence of fear," he mused aloud, "but the courage to face it, trusting that God walks with us." His words resonated in the stillness, a reminder that their journey was not just a physical one, but a spiritual passage through the wilderness. In the depths of their isolation, they found connection, their prayers a bridge to the divine. As night fell, the storm showed signs of abating, the winds lessening their grip on the snow-laden world. Mark's eyes grew heavy, and Sarah's prayers softened to a gentle murmur, a lullaby that carried them into a restless slumber. But in the quiet of the night, a soft glow appeared on the horizon, an ethereal light that beckoned through the darkness. Lily was the first to notice, her eyes widening in wonder as she nudged her parents awake. "Look," she whispered, awe in her voice. "It's her. She's here with us." The family gazed at the light, their hearts swelling with a profound sense of peace. It was a reminder that they were not alone, that the Virgin Mary's presence was a constant guide through the storm's wrath. In that moment, amidst the snow and silence, faith became their compass, illuminating the path forward. The storm had tested them, but they emerged with a renewed strength, their journey a testament to the power of hope and divine grace. As dawn broke and the first rays of sunlight kissed the snow-covered landscape, they knew they had witnessed something miraculous. The road ahead was uncertain, but their spirits were unbroken, their hearts steadfast in the knowledge that love, faith, and family were the true lights that guided them through life's storms. And with that, they prepared to face whatever lay beyond the blizzard, united in purpose and fortified by the sacred bond that held them together. As the dawn light shimmered over the alabaster landscape, the stillness was interrupted by the soft voice of Lily, her eyes wide with wonder. "I saw her, Mommy." The pretty lady was outside the car, she announced with the innocent certainty only a child could possess. Her words hung in the air, a delicate thread weaving through the fabric of their hearts. Mark, his hands still wrapped around the steering wheel though the car was motionless, exchanged a glance with Sarah. He raised his eyebrows in quiet skepticism, but there was no dismissing the intensity of Lily's declaration. Sarah turned to face her daughter, brushing a lock of hair from Lily's forehead. "What did this lady look like, sweetheart?" Her voice was gentle, coaxing the memory from Lily's mind as if drawing a picture from a hidden gallery. Lily's eyes sparkled with a light that seemed to dance beyond the confines of the car. "She was beautiful, Mommy. She had a blue dress, and there was a bright light all around her. She smiled at me, and I felt happy inside." A silence fell over them, the kind that can only be filled with the beating of hearts and the whisper of unspoken thoughts. Mark peered out through the frosted windows, focusing on the swirling snow. All he could see was the relentless storm, its icy breath still howling outside. Yet, within the car, there was a palpable shift, as if Lily's vision had opened a door to something beyond the tangible world. Sarah's heart swelled with a mixture of awe and humility. "Lily," she said softly, "do you think this lady might have been the Virgin Mary?" Lily nodded with the conviction of someone who had seen a truth beyond the veil of reality. "I think so, Mommy. She was so kind and beautiful." Mark, still grappling with the logic of the situation, felt a warmth spreading through the car, a sensation that defied explanation. It was as if the air itself had been infused with a subtle fragrance, a scent reminiscent of roses in full bloom. He inhaled deeply, the aroma wrapping around him like a comforting embrace. "Do you smell that?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking too loudly might shatter the fragile moment. Sarah nodded, her eyes reflecting the same wonder. "Yes, roses. It's like a garden in here." The scent mingled with their breath, a gentle reminder of the mysteries that lay beyond human comprehension. In that moment, doubts and fears melted away, replaced by a calm acceptance that settled over them like a warm blanket. It was as if the presence Lily had seen had left an indelible mark on their souls, a divine signature written in the language of faith. Mark found himself smiling, a deep, genuine smile that reached into the depths of his being. "You know, maybe she's watching over us," he mused, the skepticism in his voice giving way to a newfound sense of hope. "Maybe we're not as alone in this storm as we thought." Sarah squeezed his hand, her eyes shining with unshed tears of gratitude and belief. "Perhaps this is a sign, Mark, a reminder that even in the darkest storms, we are never truly alone." As the storm continued to rage outside, inside the car, an extraordinary peace settled over them. It was a peace born not of understanding, but of faith, a faith seen through a child's eyes and felt in the heart's core. The Virgin Mary's presence, real or imagined, had transformed their fear into an embrace of the unknown, filling them with a courage that transcended the physical realm. Lily, her eyes still wide with wonder, leaned back against her seat, a contented smile playing on her lips. "I think she wants us to be happy," she murmured, her voice already slipping into the soft cadence of sleep. Mark and Sarah watched their daughter, their hearts overflowing with a love that was both fierce and tender. In that moment, they understood the power of innocence, the strength of a faith untainted by doubt. It was a vision of hope, a glimpse of the divine that had touched their lives in the most unexpected of ways. As the morning light grew stronger, the storm began to abate, its fury spent. The snowflakes fell more gently now, like a benediction upon the earth. Mark started the engine, feeling the vibrations beneath his feet as the car roared to life. They were ready to continue their journey, fortified by the sacred encounter that had graced them in the heart of the blizzard. With a final glance at the road behind, they set off into the dawn, their spirits unbroken, their hearts steadfast. The vision of hope they carried with them was a beacon, guiding them through the remaining miles with a renewed sense of purpose. As the car moved forward, the fragrance of roses lingered, a reminder of the divine touch that had blessed them. It was the scent of miracles, the aroma of faith, a testament to the love, the grace, and the hope that would accompany them always. And so, they journeyed onward, united in purpose, their souls intertwined in the sacred bond of family and faith, ready to face whatever lay beyond the horizon, with the Virgin Mary's gentle presence forever etched in their hearts. As the dawn surrendered to the indomitable grip of night, the Johnson family found themselves again embraced by the vast, unyielding expanse of white. The world outside their car was a swirling spectacle of snow, an ethereal dance of flurries that seemed intent on obscuring the path ahead. Despite the warmth of their earlier encounter, the cold was creeping back into their bones, casting long shadows of doubt over their hearts. Inside the car, silence reigned, broken only by the soft murmurs of prayer. Lily, nestled between her parents, clutched a small rosary, its beads slipping through her fingers like a gentle river of faith. Her eyes, wide with wonder and a hint of fear, reflected the myriad emotions that swirled within her young heart. The vision of the Virgin Mary, serene and luminous, lingered in her thoughts, an anchor of hope amidst the growing storm. Thomas Johnson, seated at the wheel, kept his gaze fixed on the road or what remained visible of it. His hands, firm yet gentle, gripped the steering wheel as if in silent communion with the divine. His heart beat a steady rhythm of trust, a silent litany of faith that sustained him through the darkest of nights. Yet, beneath the surface, a flicker of doubt threatened to surface. What if they were truly lost? What if help would not arrive in time? Beside him, Sarah Johnson wrapped her arms around Lily, drawing her close. Her eyes, though weary, shone with an inner light, a testament to the strength of a mother's love, the unwavering faith that can weather any storm. She whispered soft reassurances, her voice a soothing balm against the encroaching fear. "We are not alone," she murmured, the words a mantra that kept despair at bay. "We are never alone." As the minutes stretched into an eternity, the family's silent prayers wove an invisible tapestry of belief, each thread a testament to their trust in the divine plan. It was then, amidst the thickening veil of snow, that the sound came, a distant rumble, growing steadily louder, like the approach of thunder on a summer's day. Thomas strained his eyes against the blizzard, his heart quickening with a mixture of hope and disbelief. There, emerging from the white abyss, was the silhouette of a snowplow, its headlights cutting through the darkness like twin beacons of salvation. The vehicle moved with purpose, its mechanical roar a symphony of divine intervention. The snowplow came to a halt alongside the Johnsons' car, and the driver, an older man wrapped in layers of winter clothing, stepped out. His name was Hank, a seasoned driver whose life had been a tapestry of roads and routes, none of which had ever felt quite like this one. He approached with a smile, his eyes twinkling with a warmth that belied the bitter cold. "Evening, folks," Hank greeted, his voice carrying over the wind. "Looks like you could use a hand." Thomas, overwhelmed with gratitude, stepped out to meet him. "You have no idea how much," he replied, shaking Hank's gloved hand fervently. "We were starting to lose hope." Hank chuckled softly, the sound resonating with a comforting familiarity. "Funny thing, hope," he mused. "Sometimes it just needs a little nudge, like a snowplow, perhaps." As Hank set to work clearing the road, the Johnsons watched in awe. It was not merely the physical act of plowing through the snow that moved them, but the miraculous timing of his arrival. Hank had been driving another route when an inexplicable urge had prompted him to change his path. He had felt, in his own words, a pull, a whisper in the heart, leading him to this very spot. Inside the car, Lily's eyes shone with the light of understanding. "It's like the story of the Good Samaritan," she whispered to her mother, her voice filled with wonder. "Someone came when we needed them most." Sarah nodded, her heart swelling with pride and love. "Yes, my dear," she replied softly. "God works through us all, in ways we may never fully understand." As the snowplow forged a path to safety, the Johnsons followed, their car moving forward with renewed purpose. The road ahead, once shrouded in uncertainty, now glimmered with possibility. They were not merely travelers on a physical journey, but pilgrims of faith, their hearts attuned to the divine symphony that played in the silence between moments. Hank led them to the nearest town, where warmth and shelter awaited. As they parted ways, he tipped his hat, his eyes meeting Thomas's with a shared understanding. "Sometimes," Hank said, "all it takes is a little faith to see us through the storm." Thomas nodded, his heart full. "Thank you," he said simply, the words carrying the weight of his gratitude. As the Johnsons settled into the warmth of their temporary refuge, Lily curled up beside her mother, her heart light with the knowledge of miracles. The scent of roses lingered still, a subtle reminder of the divine presence that had accompanied them through the storm. And so, as the night gave way to a new dawn, the Johnsons found themselves transformed. Their journey was far from over, but the road ahead was no longer shrouded in fear. It was a path illuminated by the light of faith, the promise of redemption, and the certainty of love, a testament to the divine hand that guides them always. In the quiet moments before sleep, as the world outside lay blanketed in peace, Thomas and Sarah exchanged a glance, a silent vow to cherish each moment, to walk together in faith and love, and to trust in the divine plan that had brought them this far. Together, they closed their eyes, cradled in the gentle embrace of grace, ready to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. Their souls intertwined in the sacred bond of family and faith, with the Virgin Mary's gentle presence forever etched in their hearts. As dawn painted the sky with soft hues of gold and lavender, the Johnson family found themselves back in the comforting embrace of their home. It was a place that had always been a sanctuary, but now it felt different, imbued with an aura of the divine. The storm that had threatened to dismantle their lives had instead rebuilt them, brick by brick, with foundations of faith and unity. Thomas Johnson stood at the threshold of their home, his eyes tracing the familiar contours of the living room. The morning light filtered through the curtains, casting gentle shadows that waltzed across the floor. He felt a deep sense of gratitude, a warmth that spread from his heart to his fingertips. It was as if the very walls whispered prayers of thanksgiving, echoing the unspoken sentiments of his soul. Mark, his once skeptical brother, seemed to linger in the entryway, his gaze fixed on the sky. There was a quiet contemplation about him, a stillness that spoke volumes. The rosary beads, a gift from Sarah, now hung from the rearview mirror of his truck, a silent testament to the shift in his spirit. The beads caught the morning sun, refracting light in a spectrum of colors, much like the newfound hues of faith that colored his heart. Inside, Sarah moved with a gentle grace, her presence a soothing balm to the household. She carried the air of one who had seen beyond the veil, who had glimpsed the divine tapestry in which their lives were entwined. As she went about her morning routine, she paused to place a bouquet of fresh lilies beneath the painting of the Virgin Mary, a gesture of homage and gratitude. "Mark, would you like to join us for morning prayers?" Sarah's voice was soft, yet carried the weight of a profound invitation. Mark hesitated, his gaze flickering to the rosary. There was a moment of silence, a sacred pause where time seemed to hang suspended. Then, with a nod, he joined the family, settling into a chair beside Thomas. As they prayed together, the words flowed like a river, carrying with them a sense of peace and purpose. Each prayer was a thread, weaving together the fabric of their shared faith, binding them closer. For Mark, each word was a step along a path he had never imagined walking, a journey toward understanding the mysteries that had once seemed so elusive. "Thank you for guiding us through the storm," Thomas prayed, his voice a deep, resonant timbre that filled the room with warmth. "For opening our eyes to the light of your presence and the grace of your love." After the prayers, the family sat together, savoring the tranquility of the morning. There was a newfound ease in their conversation, a lightness that belied the heaviness of what they had endured. "It's strange," Mark mused, breaking the comfortable silence. "I never thought I'd find myself here of all places, but there's a peace I can't quite explain." "It's faith," Sarah replied gently. "It has a way of finding us, even when we think we're lost." Thomas nodded, his eyes reflecting the depth of his own journey. "Sometimes, it's the storms that bring us to shore, to the place where we truly belong." The day unfolded in quiet, reflective moments. Mark found himself drawn to the small chapel in the corner of the living room, a space once overlooked. Now it held a sacred allure, beckoning him to sit, to reflect, and to listen. The flickering candlelight danced in the silence, a reminder of the ever-present light that had guided them through darkness. Thomas, meanwhile, found solace in tending to the garden, his hands working the soil with a mindfulness that mirrored his prayers. Each seed planted was a symbol of hope, a testament to the promise of new beginnings. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over their home, the family gathered once more. This time, Mark took the lead, holding the rosary with a reverence that surprised even him. "Would you like to say a prayer, Mark?" Sarah asked, her voice infused with gentle encouragement. Mark hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty in his eyes. But the warmth of his family's presence, the love that enveloped him, gave him courage. He closed his eyes, allowing the words to come, unbidden and sincere. "Thank you," he began, his voice steady, "for this family, for this home, and for the faith I never knew I needed. Help me to understand, to grow, and to walk this path with an open heart." As he spoke, the room seemed to glow with a light that was both tangible and ethereal, a reflection of the transformation within him. The prayer ended, but its echoes lingered, weaving through the room, through their hearts, binding them together in a tapestry of grace. In the days that followed, the subtle shifts in their daily lives became markers of a profound transformation. Morning prayers became a cherished ritual, a time of connection and reflection. Mark found himself drawn to the quiet moments, seeking understanding through the lens of faith. The rosary in his truck became a constant companion, a reminder of the journey he had embarked upon, a journey of discovery and redemption. The Johnsons embraced their renewed presence of faith and gratitude with open arms, their lives a testament to the power of belief and the resilience of the human spirit. They understood that while the road ahead might hold challenges, they were no longer alone. They walked with a divine purpose, guided by the light of faith and the love that bound them together. As night fell, wrapping their home in a cocoon of peace, Thomas and Sarah exchanged a knowing glance, a silent acknowledgement of the journey they had undertaken, the trials they had faced, and the grace that had seen them through. Together, they closed their eyes, cradled in the gentle embrace of grace, ready to face whatever lay beyond the horizon. Their souls intertwined in the sacred bond of family and faith, with the Virgin Mary's gentle presence forever etched in their hearts. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, casting a warm glow over the Johnsons' home, the family gathered in their living room. It had become a cherished morning ritual, one that knitted their hearts together as they prepared for the day ahead. The room was filled with a sense of quiet serenity, the air heavy with the unspoken bond they shared, a bond forged through trials, faith, and the miraculous that had touched their lives. Lily, the youngest of the Johnson clan, sat cross-legged on the floor, her eyes sparkling with the innocence and wisdom beyond her years. Her vision of the Virgin Mary had become a cornerstone of family lore, a tale recounted with reverence and wonder. It was a story that transcended the ordinary, a testament to the power of faith and the mysteries that lay beyond human understanding. "Mom, do you think Mary watches over us all the time?" Lily asked, her voice soft but filled with an earnest curiosity. Sarah, her mother, smiled gently. "I believe she does, sweetheart. She's like a beacon of hope, reminding us that we're never alone, no matter how tough things might get." Thomas, who sat beside Sarah, nodded in agreement. "It's like she's guiding us, helping us find our way when we feel lost. Her presence is a gift. The family fell into a comfortable silence, each member lost in their own thoughts, their hearts unified by the shared experience that had brought them closer. They had come to view the Virgin Mary not just as a figure of devotion, but as a symbol of the divine love that cradled them through life's uncertainties. Mark, the eldest of the Johnson children, sat apart, a contemplative look on his face. The events that had unfolded over the past months had left an indelible mark on him. He was the skeptic, the one who had always sought logical explanations for the inexplicable. But even he could not deny the peace that had settled over their family, nor the subtle changes in his own heart. Later that day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Mark found himself alone in his truck, the familiar hum of the engine a comforting presence. He pulled the rosary from his pocket, its beads cool and smooth against his fingertips. It was a gift from his grandmother, a reminder of her unwavering faith and the legacy of love she had passed down. As he traced each bead, a sense of calm washed over him. The rosary was not just a string of prayers. It was a lifeline, a connection to something greater than himself. In that quiet moment, Mark realized that sometimes the most incredible miracles occurred not in grand gestures, but in the silent, everyday moments that often went unnoticed. He thought of Lily's vision, of the peace that had enveloped their family, and understood that faith was not about certainty, but about trust. It was about opening one's heart to the possibility of the divine, to the miracles that unfolded in the most unexpected ways. Mark's thoughts drifted to the Virgin Mary, her image now etched in his mind as a source of comfort and strength. He had seen how her presence had transformed his family, how it had brought them together in a way he never imagined possible. And in that moment, he found himself whispering a silent prayer of gratitude, his heart full of hope and a newfound faith. The truck's headlights illuminated the path ahead, guiding him home. As he drove, he felt a profound sense of peace, as if the Virgin Mary herself was watching over him, her gentle presence a constant reminder of the miraculous that existed in the world. It was a feeling he knew he would carry with him, a reminder that faith could move mountains and that divine intervention was always possible. As Mark parked the truck and stepped into the warm glow of his family's home, he was greeted by the sound of laughter and the sight of his family gathered around the dinner table. The scene was one of warmth and love, a testament to the journey they had undertaken together. The Johnson family was stronger than ever, their hearts united by faith and the belief in the miraculous. They knew that life would continue to present challenges, but they were no longer afraid. They had each other, and they had faith, a faith that was resilient, enduring, and capable of seeing them through whatever lay ahead. As they sat together, sharing stories and dreams, the Virgin Mary's gentle presence lingered in their hearts, a beacon of hope and protection. The miraculous had touched their lives in ways they never expected, and they knew it would continue to guide them, lighting their path and filling their hearts with love. And so, the Johnson family embraced the miraculous, their lives forever changed by the power of faith and the enduring presence of the divine. They understood that miracles were not just the stuff of legends, but a part of everyday life, a reminder that God's love was always with them, watching over them, and guiding them towards the light. As the evening drew to a close, Mark sat quietly, the rosary still in his hand. He looked around at his family, at the love that filled the room, and smiled. He knew that no matter what the future held, they would face it together, their faith strong and unyielding, their hearts open to the miraculous. And with that, he whispered a silent prayer, a promise to hold on to the faith that had brought them this far, and to cherish the miracles that lay in the quietest, most unexpected moments of life. It was a promise to believe in the enduring presence of the miraculous, a promise to embrace the divine love that surrounded them, and a promise to walk in faith, knowing that they were never alone. Before you go, share with us in the comments. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now where you are? It's incredible to see how stories of faith, protection, and miracles reach hearts across the world, even in the darkest storms. If the Johnson family's story moved you, subscribe for more testimonies of hope, divine guidance, and the Virgin Mary's gentle presence.